All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you may be at. You are watching Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. Sunday evening here in Southern California, a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous Sunday evening. Beautiful out there, clear skies. I am right now in Orange County, California, and we are just welcoming you tonight to this podcast. Another Sunday here with you to discuss some of the issues that affect our communities. And as you know, as always, we try to be here every Sunday. And my co-host is not available today. She's attending some family matters. But very exciting news for you for this month. Several things that are happening here in Southern California. Of course, we have the state Democratic convention coming up towards the end of the month. Actually, is on May 26th through the 28th, right here in downtown Los Angeles, and we are going to be present, and we are going to be doing some interviews. We're going to be talking to some folks, politicians, of course. This is a political event, and we're going to be having some guests. We're going to be broadcasting live from the events that are taking place during the convention. But also, we are co-host of the grassroots Democratic Party convention after events uh, party, if you will. We are very excited. It's going to uh, be most likely it's going to be held in near the convention center. We are still confirming the location. Um, it looks like we may be over on Main Street and Fourth Street, over at one of the hotels out there. But stay tuned. We're going to give you the information on how you're going to be able to be part of that. We plan to have a great time with special guests. We're going to be recognizing some of the people in the grassroots movement that have been doing extraordinary work in our communities. So very excited about that to be able to recognize some of our community leaders, some of people that have been in the movement, fighting the issues by taking action, by leading the way in many areas that are affecting the people. So we're very excited about that. Of course, there's going to be plenty of food, music, and it's a time to come together and really enjoy each other's company and just be part of what we all been doing and sharing the good things. There are going to be already there are people signing up as co-host of the event and endorsing the event as well. We have organizations that are reserving seats to be part of this. So we are going to be releasing some information very shortly. Look out on the comments here for on this broadcast. We're going to be posting. I will be posting a flyer to so that you can see where you could start inquiring about this and getting information. But again, this is going to be held on Saturday, May 27th. Saturday, May 27th, and that is the grassroots uh, party for the state convention that is being held here in Southern California. So, again, I will be repeating this throughout the broadcast because I want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. And here's the most exciting thing about this party: not only getting together and mingling and having a good time with other people from the movement, but the benefits and all the proceeds from this event will be going to sponsoring and supporting grassroots operations, grassroots groups that have been really doing tremendous work. Particular, we are focusing on Field the Burn Democratic Club of San Fernando. They have been really leading the way in many ways on the ground. And as you know, to to do grassroots work is very difficult for when it comes to resources. There are very few resources available um, to our organizations that are leading the way in many ways, but we want to make sure that we support them. So what's going to happen during that event? All the proceeds will go to fund some of this grassroots work that is being done. And again, we're going to be recognizing the work of some of the leaders in the grassroots movement. We're going to have great speakers that are going to be participating and coming. We're confirming. Once we have the list finalized, we're going to give you the names and the details of this event that's happening on May 27th. Again, the Democratic Party convention, state convention, will be held in downtown by LA Live in that area, and we are going to be part of that. And we're going to be focusing in bringing information to you, interviews, and many other things, and of course covering the event on May 27th as we go out there and do a little partying, all of us together. I don't know if you remember that the last one we had over in Long Beach, where the California Latinos for Bernie sponsored that event, and all the organizers came together, and we put out such a great event that was held during that time. One of the best venues that we were able to obtain in Long Beach, and still today people talk about that event because it was just so powerful, so well organized by all the organizers that came together to do that. So shout out to our organizers that always do a great work when it comes down to preparing events and making sure that the people have some of the best experiences when it comes down to events that are sponsored by the grassroots. That's how we roll. That's how we do it, and we're so excited because this is exactly what we do. Is like we organize, we bring people together, and we mobilize and take action. So with that, I like to jump right away into some of the stuff that's happening. As you know, there's so much happening right now everywhere, and to no surprise, again, another mass shooting that has hit in Texas actually, and it seems like there's a mass shooting every single day nowadays, and it's again the lack of action from from Washington, from the states, to take action and to bring sensible gun control. And no, I don't think that anyone really is advocating to take away any guns, because that's never gonna, realistically speaking, that will never happen. But when we talk about again some of the gun laws that exist right now, they do nothing. They do nothing. It's very minimum what they've done. And right now, the way it looks and the way we have seen and what is being experienced is that no one is safe. No one is safe. There's no community throughout the United States that is safe from these mass shootings. Nowhere. Doesn't matter where you go. Some of the claims of these advocates for guns, uh, is that they need to bring more guns, as that's going to solve the problem. Bringing more guns, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Bringing more guns doesn't help anything. It just creates a worse situation. And we are seeing this over and over and over. We see the same things being repeated over and over. And again, I don't want to say that these mass shootings are only happening in red states or states that are very pro-gun, but it is unfortunate that when anything happens anywhere. But there's it seems to be a trend of a lot of this violent events taking place in states that are pro-gun. And it's sad to say, and it shouldn't be happening anywhere. But there is no excuse for this. And when you have governors like Governor Abbott and this gun, uh, very pro-gun activist politicians like Senator Cruz, that really bend backwards for the gun industry, and their citizens are getting killed and experiencing all these mass shootings. You would think, for a moment, you would think that they will stop and reason and start creating real gun policies, gun control policies that will, change the situation that we are experiencing, the people are experiencing. You would think that with all this that has happened, that they would actually take a hard look and start, you know, doing what most Americans wants to see done, and that is to bring sensible gun control laws, that will actually uh, deter some of these things and create ways to start changing, the love affair that America has for guns. And that's what it is. It's a love affair. And the results, the consequences are always and will always be disastrous, because guns are meant for only one thing, and that is to kill. That's what guns are for. No one is going to tell me the guns are for anything else but to kill. And for those people, I'm speaking to conservatives, that you have the Bible in one hand and you advocate for guns, you're contradicting yourself. It just don't make sense. Hold the Bible in one hand and a gun in the other one. That is so anti-Christ, anti, you know, uh, what the Bible actually says. And again, these are some of the people, the strongest advocates for guns, are people that claim to love life, to fight and defend life, because they believe that, uh, you know, uh, they claim to always advocate for life, but the policies that they advocate are so contrary to what they actually are saying. Just don't make sense. It doesn't make sense, folks. So again, what we are seeing, and this is why I say that none of this is going to be resolved, because once again, another issue that affects America, that affects everyone in America, has been politicized. So we have issues like housing, politicized. Nothing will be done. Healthcare has been politicized. Nothing will get done. Guns in America has been politicized. Nothing will get done. Issue after issue, I don't care what issue you bring up. The minute that they politicize these things, nothing will get done. Nothing. And it will be chaos. And that's exactly what we have when we involve politics into the issues that's supposed to be pretty much uh, safety for the American people. Should not Politics should be the last thing that should be brought up into this. Politicians should get on the floor and bring about protections for the people. It's that simple. It's that simple. No one's taking their guns away. But they want to politicize everything. They want to make it all about politics, and this is why nothing will get done. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. So what can we do uh, as a people that are concerned for our children, for our families, for our communities? What can we do? Well, we need to continue to raise our voices. We need to continue to reach out to our representatives and demand that they bring about sensible gun control policies. But we have a responsibility as residents and individuals and people that live here in this country to to raise our voices, to contact our representatives and demand gun control policies that work, not that protect the gun industry. That's ridiculous. These people don't care. They want to pump as many guns as they can into the streets. And we need to stop that. It's just beyond belief the amount of guns that are in the streets in America. And when I say in the streets, people's homes everywhere. I mean the militarized type of weapons that exist, that are allowed to be put in the hands of people. It just don't make sense. So again, another mass shooting, and this is not going to stop until politicians stop thinking about their political parties, stop thinking about the gun industry, the NRA, and start putting the people first. Right now, the people second. They're not putting the people first. They have the gun industry as the center of their attention and protection. So when that happens, no one is safe in America. No one is. Politicians are saying the NRA first, the people last. So the end results, you are seeing it when you turn on your TV, another mass shooting. So it is unfortunate that continues to happen and nothing has been done over the years. But as I was stating a little earlier, is the fact that uh, these issues are always politicized. This is why things don't get done. And what we try to do here in this broadcast is let you know some of the stuff that we can do, because again, Washington, our state political machines, they all fail us, and we need to pretty much take matters to our hands. And by that I mean that we need to organize ourselves, and we need to push for policies that make sense and demand our politicians to pretty much fight for those things. But if they don't feel the pressure from the people, if they are not, if their phones are not ringing off the hook, and you are not visiting their offices, then they feel that nothing needs to be changed. They have their talking points, thoughts and prayers, etc. All the talking points that they always use without real action. And that is because they don't feel the pressure. The pressure comes when we, the people, come together. We talk to each other. We say we need some changes, and we begin to organize so that we can come together in one under one banner, the people's banner, and demand the changes. Because on every issue that we can think about, any issue, housing, homelessness, healthcare, education, climate change, it is not about politics. All those are about people. That's what these things are about. So we have to come together under one banner of the people. The banner of the people, whoever you may be, Democrat, Independent, Republican, whatever. All of us are affected by all these issues. But again, if you take a hard look, the reason why nothing gets done is because they politicize the issues. And by the way, that's exactly what happened during the pandemic, COVID-19. They politicized the pandemic. And the end result, you saw that. You had everybody fighting each other, and everybody, thinking that, that there was no straight policies coming out because it was politicized. So no matter what, anyone could do, we could never get everything straight. And the result was over 1 million people died because of again, the lack of leadership and the lack of really putting the people first. They made it all about politics. And I know I'm hitting the spot on this. I know I'm right. And you're right, because you talk to your family, you see what's going on, and you say nothing gets done. And this is why people hate politicians, because nothing gets done. But if we stop and really think about this, the reason again is because they make it all about politics. It's not about you and me. It's not about that individual that sleeps on the tent. America has plenty of money. They could have built plenty of houses right now, but they don't, because it's all about politics. It's not about the people sleeping on the streets. Your rent is extremely high. They allow developers, they allow investors, to be put first, the people second, and this is why nothing gets done. Because the minute that anyone's trying to do anything and start asking for sensible housing policies and for affordability of housing, they politicize the issue, and then nothing gets done. So I don't expect anything to be fixed when it comes down to these issues, because politicians do what they do best: politicize the issues. They go in there and protect their party. They fight like hell to stay in power, and they put themselves first and the people's last. The issues are always to benefit corporations and special interests, and the people last. So when it comes to all those issues, again, housing, rent is not going to come down. It's not going to come down, folks. And I hate to be the one that brings the bad news to you, but the reality is that they have no plan. They kept saying, well, we need to build more housing, but the kind of housing that they continue to build is not affordable housing. It's unaffordable. It's luxury homes. So right now there is a demand for housing, but they keep building the wrong kind of housing. And again, it's because they have put special interests first. They have put developers, investors, and corporations first ahead of the people. And this is why we don't have affordability in housing. Very little is being done when it comes down to building affordable homes. I'll give you a good example is that a lot of these developments that you see being constructed, yeah, they have a mandate to have X amount of units designated for to be affordable, but the number of units that are built on the same development that are unaffordable are triple the number of the ones that are being designated to be affordable. So in other words, I'll give you an example. They may get a permit to build an apartment building for 100 units, and they say 10%, or we're going to have 15 units that will be affordable, and the rest are non-affordable. So they continue to create a problem. 15 units is not going to solve our issues. So what they really need to do, if they're really serious about fixing the housing crisis, they need to build, again, using the example of 100 units that is being built, 10 that are designated affordable, they need to do the reverse. They need to have 90 of those units to be affordable and 10 for the luxury people, those people that want to have the luxury. That's how you solve the problem. The other way that I have always, said that we need to pretty much put a freeze on luxury homes. There needs to be a freeze, a complete freeze, because again, what we are seeing is lack of proper homes being built, and all we have is the wrong kind of housing going up and creating, or building the problem, growing the problem um, that exists already, because they have absolutely no solutions to this. Um, so again, we are going to continue to monitoring these issues, but as I was saying, our what we need to do is organize our communities. We need to do everything we can to come together, to talk to each other, to start, having meetings in our communities, for crying out loud. Especially with all these mass shootings, we need to, you know, talk to each other. We need to find out where everybody's at with this issue, and you will be surprised that the vast majority of people are thinking just like you, because we all want the same thing. We all want safe communities. We all want our children to feel safe, our wives, our husbands, or your significant other. You want them to have a safe environment to live in, so that when you go shopping, you have safe streets. We all want that. But the problem is that we are not talking to each other. So we have been made enemies of each other. We have been labeled that, the left or Democrats or progressives, want everybody free from the jails, and that we encourage, you know, violence. And the other people are saying, well, we need the guns because this is the only way that we stop the violence. But none of that is working. So again, it's because we're not talking to each other. And all we are doing is fighting each other and not coming up with real solutions, when actually solutions are there. But again, the thing is that we are not talking to each other. So we are not putting the pressure on the people that should be changing policies. And let me turn on the light here for a second. Give me 1 second, excuse me. Sorry about that. So again, we are looking at these things, at the issues in the wrong way. We have been lacking our organizing our communities, and that's the number one thing that needs to be happening right now with any of these issues, is that we must start organizing in our communities. We got to start talking to each other. We got to start talking to our neighbor, and realize that all of us want the same thing. Your neighbor next door, he may be a Republican or he may be whatever. I guarantee you that once you start talking, you probably want the same thing. We may say it in a different way, but at the end of the day, we all want that. We all want peace. We all want to see prosperity and safe streets. None of us want to see people sleeping on the streets. But the approach on this has been, again, turned against each other, because that's what politicians have pretty much used to protect, corporations and special interests. They politicize the issue, so nothing gets done. So, folks, again, we are experiencing more chaos on different issues, and we're going to continue to see that. Now, the other stuff that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, because it's really interesting what's happening, in the judicial system, particularly the Supreme Court. You're seeing the stuff that's happening with Justice Thomas, and the issues relating him being courted and accepting literally thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars, from special interests from a billionaire. And I think that we may be at the tip of the iceberg. And I think, and I'm hope that I'm wrong, but I think that uh, the other justices may have dirty hands as well. Uh, uh, you know, it's one of these things that the focus right now is on one justice, but this again, the Supreme Court have been left alone, and we have always thought that they were so reputable and beyond reproach, but that's not the case, folks. These people are corrupt as hell. They are corrupt, and we are seeing it just through what's happening right now with Clarence Thomas, Justice Thomas. The corruption that exists in there is beyond belief. And these are the same people that are taking cases and are ruling on cases from the same people that they're receiving money from. It's funny, you start following the money, and I think that ProPublica, that one that exposes things, a hell of a organization, news agency that has uncovered many things in the past, have been doing a good job, and people need to know what's going on, regardless of who it is. And it's sad when you're seeing these things coming out, and you have politicians that still protect these individuals rather than saying, well, this is not good for America. We need to investigate. And that's what I'm telling you, folks, that we not we, but politicians politicize everything. Supreme Court is supposed to be the highest court in the land, the most reputable. This is where they hear cases that affect the entire America, and you expect some decency from there, and you expect rulings that are pretty much clean rulings, and by that I mean that it has no attachment to any kind of special interest. But that's not the case. These people are corrupt. They're taking money on the side. They fill in their pockets. Money has blinded Justice Thomas. And because money has been waved in front of him, and he's been taking money on the side, there's no way that he's going to be ruling properly or clean. His rulings are dirty. They're attached to money. And that's at least what we are seeing. And it doesn't take a genius to understand that. So when you have politicians that still, try to defend these men, instead of saying, well, wait a minute, this affects America as a whole. So we need to have a clear investigation of these things. And we need to start finding out what went wrong and fix the problem. Because if you don't do that, you're only going to get worse. So immediately, if you know you're going in the wrong direction, what do? You stop. You make a U-turn. But this is not what that politicians do. They keep going the same road, knowing that it's wrong, seeing all the troubles that it's causing, and they continue to drive on the same direction, the same road, that will bring the same results and even more chaos. So, with that being said, is that perhaps we are not going to see, anything fixed when it comes down to the Supreme Court. And the results are that people are not only suspicious, but they stop believing in the Supreme Court. People's minds right now are so disgusted with them that, they just have lost faith. They have lost faith because the amount of corruption that we are seeing at the highest level is very disheartening, especially when you are seeing leaders protecting this corruption, not calling it out, not saying stop. We need to examine what's going on for the well-being of America. And the people that say that they wrap themselves with the flag and they say how much they love America, America first, all these talking points, blah, 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 blah. It's so hypocritical because if they are seeing all the danger that these people put America through and they do nothing about it, you're an enemy of America. You're not a patriot. You cannot call yourself that when you do nothing about it. So again, our political system, is beyond chaotic. People have lost faith in it. And to no surprise, all the polls, when they conducted polls to see what people think about Congress, people think very little about them. Why? Because they have lost faith, because nothing is being done for the work that they have been sent to do. You have politicians like this crazy woman, Green. The media give her so much attention. It's disgusting. She has nothing to contribute. Instead of being out there fighting, to make things better, she brings chaos. And this is what, people get behind. This is what our leaders get behind women like this. Give her, more power. Put her, to be part of committees that she has no business being on. But she's not alone. There's many others like that. These people have no integrity. They have nothing good to offer for America, for her people, for America's people. Because all they do is bring chaos and division, and they're constantly destroying. There's a scripture actually in the Bible that says that the enemy cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. So if there's a scripture that applies to them, that's the scripture. That the enemy cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. And this is what a lot of these politicians are doing. They're destroying America by the policies that they push, by the things that they say. By the way they divide the country and make it all about themselves, about their party. We have people sleeping on the streets. That should be a top priority. And all resources, all of our intelligence and everything that we have should be put into that, making sure that no one sleeps on the street. What good does it do for us to send, spaceships to Mars when we have not even conquered our streets? What good does it do for us to build all these great things when we have our citizens, our seniors, sleeping on the streets? You want to be great? Fight for them. You want to be respected as a politician? Fight for them. Doesn't matter whether you're going to get reelected the next cycle or not. Be known for someone that fought like hell to make sure no one sleeps on the streets. That's integrity. That's a patriot. That is someone that people will admire. And they will see right through you that you are out there doing everything you can every single day to make sure no one sleeps on the streets. But that's not happening, folks. Very few that are in position. And because they are a minority, this is why, even if they want to, things cannot get done. Because the amount of corrupt politicians that we have in Washington, in a state capitals, and everywhere else surpasses the amount of good people that are in office. Money in politics, has destroyed, anything good when it comes to politics in America. When you talk about Citizens United, all this money, corporations are allowed to do so much. Again, we have a major problem. And people don't want to participate. I don't blame them. I don't. But I also think it's wrong. We cannot give up because this is our home. This is our country. This is our future that we're talking about. So we can be a little selfish for a moment, but then we have to stop. And we have to think, what are we doing but not participating? We are allowing them to continue, and we are empowering them to do worse. And this is why our rents will never go down. They're going to continue to go up because they're having a field day with us, folks. They are in the pockets of developers. They are in the pockets of investors. They are in the pockets of special interests because the people has been absent at the table. So with everything that I have, if there's anything that I can tell you that I have learned over the years, that is the moment that we stop participating, we start going down, and things will only get worse. We saw during the financial crisis people rising up through the Occupy movement. You recall that. People were there in the streets. They were getting very nervous. People were organizing, going to the CEOs' homes of the banks, demanding accountability, and they were being exposed left and right. Unfortunately, no one went to jail. But, we saw a change that took place on the conversation. For the first time, people start talking about or putting the blame on those actually responsible for the financial crisis. And that was Wall Street. And that's because people came together, talked to each other. They realized that, yes, they've been lying to us and they've been dividing us. So they came together, people came together and began to raise their voices and put in the blame where it belonged, all through public pressure. And the conversation was changed. And yes, there were some things that were done. There were some laws that came about because of that. And unfortunately, it wasn't big enough as it needed to be, because again, the people became divided, and they inserted politics into the issues, into the financial crisis, where really the only ones that end up getting benefit was the banks. They got bailed out and we got sold out. And you remember that. Banks got bailed out and we got sold out. But we needed to learn from that. But we didn't, because we stopped. People went back watching TV. People, went back to turning off the news because they didn't like what they were hearing. And that's a recipe for more disaster. Is lack of participation from the public. It gives no pressure at all to politicians, and they begin to, or they continue, or double down in what they used to do. So, I say all that because, again, we are at a crossroads right now. More things are happening. Rent continues to go higher and higher. It's insanity right now. I was looking at some of the houses here. Buying a house nowadays is like, the supply is so limited that people are buying houses that used to cost $200,000 in some communities. Now, they're over a $500,000. Most of the homes are reaching $1 million, and I'm not talking about luxury homes. And no one is talking about the fact that people can no longer buy homes, let alone rent, an apartment. So there is the lack of wealth, coming to our families because we cannot buy homes, and that used to be a great way of being able to have a little something, even for our children, and some form of security. But that dream has become a nightmare. There is no American dream when it comes to housing. And if you think of buying a house and you just take a hard look at what's out there, and what they're asking for, it's like, wow, how can we even afford that? It's incredible, as how these prices continue to rise and nothing is being done. They have always tell us that it's all about trickle down economics, but we know that trickle down economics is a joke. It's a joke. Doesn't happen. So it's the same thing with trickle down housing. They're saying, well, we need to continue to build more, and that's going to bring down the prices. Baloney. Stop lying to the people. Nothing is going to trickle down. Price is going to continue to go higher, because when people are building luxury homes and they investing into luxury homes, they paying all this money to build these things. No one's going to take less money. You expect a return for what you invested in. So this is why I say it's never going to happen, because they building a fantasy, or at least they selling a fantasy to the public. They know it's a lie, because they want to make sure that they continue to keep the rents high so they can get the money they invested plus some. So they are pretty much continue to gamble with our lives. And unfortunately, right now, they can bet on the red and they can bet on the black. And no matter which side wins, they win. That's what we have, folks. Unless we, as I say, we come together, we organize with our communities, we talk to each other, we start having those community meetings. Don't invite the politicians. Have community meetings among yourselves. We need to leave them out of this. We need to have strong conversations with each other. See where we at. Then you're going to find out the politicians are not on our side. Now, after you have your meetings, after you have things going on, then you invite them in. But then you have an agenda of what you need to do, and you have a list of demands. But that's how you have to do it. You have to do it in a way that, you, the people, are stronger. And strength for the people comes through unity, almost similar to what the unions do, right? Is they come together, they unionize, they're all in the same line, and now you're able to put demands. So I always advocated that the people, community should have unions, should form unions, people's unions, where we again come together, where we sit down, see what is wrong, and start forming a list of demands. And all of us contribute for the cause. So those are some of the things that we are looking right now. The stuff with again the Supreme Court is all nothing but a disaster. And again, thank goodness for a media agency that had focused on investigating. And by the way, this is exactly where the media is lacking, is that they have lost their way. They give a lot of attention to people like Congresswoman Green, Santos, and all these clowns that have nothing to offer, instead of being out there investigating, really digging and or focusing on people that are moving and shaking the streets for us, organizing communities, elevating them. They elevate their own people, because why those people give them the ratings? It's insanity, even with our media. So, but now we have no excuse, because we have access to again, social media. As you see in this broadcast, we're able to come in and talk about issues, and we're able to organize even through social media. So we have tools available to us that we don't have to be depending on no one else. And that's the way we're going to win, is by us organizing, by us coming together. I said the last time on one of our broadcasts that we are putting together some clinics where we're going to be uh, teaching or showing or sharing how to organize your community. So I'm enlisting some great organizers that have organized over the years to talk about some of the uh, strategic ways that they organize, why they do it a certain way, why they're being so effective. That's what we need to build on. So that's what we intend to do here in this program, is be able to present to you and invite guests that will share with us some of their tactics that they use, some of their organizing skills that they have, and how they get the job done. You're watching Stand Up Fight Back. We come here every Sunday at 7 o'clock. We try to be there at 7 o'clock. Next week, we have a very special guest with us, Carrie. And she is a grandma. By the way, happy birthday to her. Today is her birthday. She was going to be with me tonight, but it's her birthday. So she's out there celebrating with her family. But she's going to be sharing on one of the issues that is affecting so many people out there. And that is the epidemic on drugs, fentanyl. She suffered the loss of her daughter, of her granddaughter, excuse me, Desiree. A lovely, lovely young woman. I got to meet her, but unfortunately, uh, she overdosed, and uh, the family suffered such a great loss with her. But Grandma Carrie, she's going to be with us, sharing her story, sharing the what the family has gone through. But she's also stepping out, and she wants to share also some of the things that people need to be paying attention to and sharing. Very, very powerful uh, time that we're going to have with her. I spent some time talking to her this morning, and I tell you, it's like she's ready to be an advocate because what we are seeing right now, so many people, so many young people, not only young people, I mean, so many people out there that are dying to drugs, particularly this epidemic that we have with opioids and what have you. So we're gonna have her, and I'm trying to bring another guest that is organizing communities and working with people that have fallen into drug addiction, and see what some of the things that they are doing. But this is the kind of stuff that we need to be talking about, folks. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say through this broadcast. The changes come when we start talking to each other and sharing from the experiences that we have. And not only sharing from the experiences, but also helping lift others. When we lift others, we automatically all are lifted up. That's what happened, folks. I want to say thank you for watching tonight. Uh, we are here every Sunday. We try to be at least. And we're going to continue to bring to you the issues that affect the people the most. Don't forget that, mark your calendar. If you live in Southern California, there is the Democratic State Convention that is going to be held from the 26th through the 28th of May here in downtown LA. We're planning to be there to bring some of the latest and to do some interviews. And we also help organize. We are co-hosts of a grassroots party that will be taking place in downtown LA. We are going to be posting here on the messages a flyer, but look on this page and other pages. You could go also to Feel the Burn San Fernando Club, a Democratic club, Feel the Burn Democratic Club of San Fernando, and there's information in there that they have already. But it's going to be absolutely a great time to be in. There's going to be food. There's going to be an exhibition, a housing exhibition that is being presented by AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Healthy housing. Housing is a human right. So they have a great exhibition that will be in place. So I hope you come and be part of this. All the proceeds for that event will go to grassroots organizing. So hope to see you out there. We're gonna be giving you the information. Most likely, we're going to have somebody representing the event to share with you once we have finalized the list of guest speakers and the different parts of the event that we going to be sharing with you. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss a strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. My name is Carlos. I'm your host tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.